up, though? Rafa Wright. This is my crib. Neighborhood grocery. Coming soon. The Majestic S's in Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood, Detroit.
um, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, pro wrestler in my head and mind, urban gardener, future grocer, Detroiter, top one. I remember looking at people working in the capacity of being an employee and being told what to do and being treated the way that I just couldn't imagine myself being in that type of situation and space. And making money myself was always a thrill. And I started working for myself when I was 13, and I got addicted from there. It's been a wild, fun ride that I don't see me getting, working for somebody else. I gotta do it, and I gotta do it for myself until I die. I thought I was selling drugs. It was Kool-Aid and sugar. I used to take the sandwich bags and fill them up with Kool-Aid and sugar. And it's funny because back when I was this was in middle school, going into high school, but back then it wasn't cool to have like a book bag. But I had this whole little operation where I would get a bunch of Kool-Aid, sugar, bag it up, and I would just stuff my book bag full of these bags. I watched a lot of drug movies, so it looked like a drug deal or whatever. And I remember this particular time, the school that I was going to had banned us from eating the Kool-Aid and the sugar, because it was, just imagine 8 o'clock in the morning, we eat Kool-Aid and sugar, and it changes the day. So the school had barred it, and there were consequences if they caught us eating it. So I kind of was selling drugs as a sort, but that was my first hustle, and the thrill that I got from it, it just changed the way I looked at finance, it changed the way I looked at work, and I've been addicted ever since. I had the benefit of being exposed to entrepreneurship when I was a teenager. So when I didn't have bills, I didn't have a care in the world, I was in capacity to make money for myself. So I had to get out of jail free card to make mistakes, figure stuff out, whereas a lot of people meet entrepreneurship when they're adults, you know what I mean? When they have responsibilities and things like they have children. So the sacrifices, do I, follow my dream, or do I work a job? And I got blessed to do it at 13. I knew, about time I became an adult, this is what I wanted to do. And it helped guide life decisions in my adult years. So I didn't have a child until I felt more established. And I just didn't do a lot of stuff that a lot of my friends did, because I didn't want to mess my dream up. So catching that bug as a teenager, really, it shielded me away from a lot of that stuff. But to answer your question, every job I've ever worked, when I had a job, a couple of days into it, you realize this ain't for me. I got fired from every job I worked. I haven't worked that many. Every job I worked, I got fired from. So that answers it for that off top. Not a good employee. Focusing on one industry, because I have been a serial entrepreneur for so long. I tried to do everything, or thinking that I could or should. Now I'm realizing that I should just focus on one. I can do anything, but I should just be focusing on A, B, or C. So prioritizing what's more important versus things that I've been doing that hasn't been so much of an impact I thought or whatever. Getting rid of those things, but just really keying in on health and how important it is for all of us, whether it's living a little longer. We see it all the time. So-and-so worth $10 billion, $10 billion, or worth a lot of money, dead at 39. You know what I'm saying? Dead at 40. So just increasing or enhancing our quality of life as a community and as a race, as a human race, is really my agenda at this point. I love money. I love the things that it can do, the ways that it can help, but you can't pour from an empty cup. So let's get better with our mental health, our physical health. I just want to be happier, and I want to see more people. Sleep is the one thing that I have fell in love with. And the pandemic did it because that was not a thing for me prior to. We would just work. And society burned that into us, into our mental that you don't sleep, you keep grinding, you keep running, you keep working. And, physically you can do that, but is it effective? You know what I mean? So sleep has been the number one thing on my list of, how do I stay aligned mentally? Meditation, breathing, nature, all of those things come after that. Those are very important things, but those are things that, again, wasn't present in my life prior to the pandemic. Once we all had time to sit down and reevaluate our lives, like, don't nothing beat going to that garden, getting kissed by the sun and, breathing fresh air and touching stuff that comes from God. So all of those things have reinforced to me that I need to be in a peaceful state. If I'm not in a peaceful state, my mental health will never be what it needs to be, and I'm not going to be able to physically perform or spiritually perform that. So, my peace, sleep, nature, meditation, and ratchet TV shows. And so from a personal standpoint, my growth, as it pertains to the career path that I've chosen, I've learned what self-care is just from burning out, not prioritizing myself, family, etc. I've experienced burnout one too many times, so I've been blessed because it's a lesson. We were talking about that off camera, but everything is a lesson, and I'm important. So, and I'm important to the grand scheme of things. So, taking care of myself has been probably the biggest lesson. A funny lesson is because I'm a wrestling fan, I view everything from the eyes of like a wrestling promoter or something. All of this shit is fake. So when it comes down to the rules to make money, the rules to manage, the rules is all fake, and none of those rules apply. If you don't want them to, if you want to change them, you can. And I think that has been my second biggest and funny lesson is that it's all fake. Whether you win or lose, it's fake. It's not real. You don't hold on to it. Just keep on moving. Entrepreneurship is not an easy thing. So having this belief or impression that you're gonna always be happy doing the work you're doing, that's cap as well. We eat a lot of shit sandwiches in this entrepreneurship game. You gotta learn to like them. They will be nasty, but you'll eat a hamburger one day. You know what I mean? So until then, don't expect this to be just all funny games and smiles, and competition is real. People are cutthroat. The environment that we work in at times is not always friendly or welcoming. So you gotta temper these weapons and get strong and be a man, from a man standpoint, and for women, you gotta really be strong to last and survive the stuff that you're gonna run into when it comes to entrepreneurship. A lot of people can make money, but we lose ourselves way too often. So making sure that you don't do that, above anything else, that's what I learned. Honestly, no. I have not given up in any big project that I've had. Like, if it's in my head, we're gonna see it through to the end, and I would rather fail with a complete project or a complete presentation of a project versus, stopping midway through. Small things, I've, aborted ship on, or change the concept, tweak something. No different than on the big projects. Things have changed, but my will to just end it has never happened. When things tweak, as we've learned as students in Kimbo, you just obey the fight. So at the end of the day, letting it come to us and moving, maneuvering. Once it comes, it's been a skill that I think that I'm I am nowhere near close to mastering, but getting the hang of, at least, in this store here, so much has changed, things happen, whatever we had originally planned, it changes, it's not gonna happen, and you just learn to maneuver around it. So obeying the fight is the tool that keeps you going, for me. That feathers how determined you are, that feathers you getting home, take it home by any means, but, obeying the fight. Decided that I have not quit, and I don't think nothing to come in the future where I would just give up on. I've never been that person. We all have this seed inside of us, the source, knowing that the best advice is to not take no advice, you know what I'm saying? Because your life story or your experiences can corrupt mine. And I may be free flowing, but you may have walls, you know what I mean? And you may say something to take me off my path. So knowing that you are the source and that source can breed and create anything, you will absolutely attract everything that you need. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you start looking for or searching for something outside of yourself, it's always gonna be hell. So when it's all said and done, trust yourself, trust your gut, have faith in everything to fall in place. The timing may not be of your liking, but you always gonna be on time. The things that you thought would be coming may not come, but what will come will be exactly what you need. So just losing the expectation of something being a certain way, obeying the fight, let it come, that's the only advice I can give us. If I can be remembered, and let me try to make this short and sweet. If I can be remembered for anything, from anybody, it is that I loved y'all. And I loved y'all enough to put my all into community projects when I didn't have to and when others wouldn't. Your boy did. And I think that will capture me in the future and in future generations for sure. I love everybody so much that this is the type of work that I want to do and have found a bag in doing it. So that can be motivation for others to love and do some great shit. And I'm the champion of the world. As far as plugs, I would like to plug Neighborhood Grocery where we are now. Hopefully sometime in the near future, this will be a full store, operable and working in the community. I want to shout out everybody who has supported this effort. My partners, Texas Diaspora, my brother, Asa Lockett, who just wrote a book that came out a couple months ago that's still sizzling. My 36 Chamber family, who's helped change me. And overall, just the city of Detroit. It may not be the best place, but what place is better? So, shouting everybody out because I love everybody. So.